I once heard the saddest story in recovery. Once I went to a prison meeting to go chair a meeting there, and one of the guys said that he's sitting for murder. He said he was in recovery for 3 years and he was working a program and he was working in a call center and he had a very good job, very well paying job at a very prestigious company, which I'll go unnamed for now. And he said while he was working a program and everything was going well and he had his own apartment and he had a car and he had acquired everything and he got his life together, he met a girl and he knew for a fact that this girl is an addict in active addiction, but because of his desires he went ahead anyway and had a relationship with her. Now first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months nothing happened. They were very well together. But as time went by, she started to come with a bag at his apartment, and they would start using together, and they would start using together, and then they broke up. But he stayed with his addiction, and he continued to use to such a degree that he induced others at his work environment to use, and he started dealing at work, and he lost his job, he lost his apartment, and he went back to his parents' house in the township. From there, he went back to crime, to robbing, to stealing, and it led to hijacking. After a few months of hijacking, he was hijacking one car, and while he was still running away, he ran into another car which had a pregnant woman inside and killed that woman and that unborn baby. And now he's sitting in prison for life. Now I want to tell every guy, and I admonish every guy, stay away from evil women. Stay away from bad women, no matter how beautiful she looks, no matter how nice her behind is, no matter how nice her legs is, no matter how beautiful she is. Stay away from evil women. They will destroy you. Stay away from Delilahs that will destroy people like Samson. Stay away from bad women. They will kill you. They will bring you down. They will bring you to an end. They will bring you to a destruction. They will cause you to relapse. They will cause you to go back to your using days. They will cause you to go back to your drugging days. It's a very fatal thing that will happen to a guy. Stay away from the prostitutes. Stay away from the brothel houses. Stay away from the strip clubs. Stay away from the groupies. Stay away from these girls that walk naked with their short skirts and just want attention and just want money. That one night of pleasure, that one night of sex, that 2 hours of sex, that 2 days of ego showing that you have best is not worth the price. Proverbs 5 says, "My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Incline your ear to my understanding, so that you will preserve discretion, and your lips will keep watch over knowledge." Listen to this. For the lips of a woman who is a stranger. Now, we said before, usually the word stranger means someone that's non-Jewish. But for the sake of recovery, I want us to say that stranger is that woman that's loose, that wayward, promiscuous woman. Her lips drip honey. Her mouth is smoother than oil. She's very good at telling you what you want to hear. She's very good at boosting your ego, of talking to you to such a way that you feel like a man, that you feel powerful, that you feel special, that you feel strong. She's very smooth with her tongue. She's very good with kissing you and luring you into a pit of hell. But in the end, she's as bitter as a worm. And that's what she'll do. She'll bring about your end. She's as bitter as a worm in the end, sharp as a double-edged sword. God is admonishing us here to be very careful of women that do things like this. Very careful of women that are sweet talkers. Women that know how to get away with a man. Women that are very sleazy. And you meet them in bars a lot and in clubs a lot, in short skirts, with makeup, with all these things that are designed to lure you and to seduce you and to tempt you into baiting and falling for their trap. Her feet go down to death. I don't need to explain it any further. Her steps lead straight to the grave. I don't need to explain it any further. She doesn't walk the level path of life. She doesn't know anything about righteousness. She doesn't know anything about godliness. She doesn't know anything about uprightness. All her paths are not level. She doesn't walk in the path of life. This is not someone you can marry. This is not someone you can have children with. This is not someone you can bring to your parents. And many guys have children with women like this, and their lives are disastrous. Their lives are a nightmare. Ask many of these guys that have a child there and there, it's usually with women like this, that they had a one-night stand with, or they had a 2-week fling with, or they had a 3-week fling with. They moved in together, which is against the word of God, to have sex outside of marriage and to live together like a married couple. They went out after 2 or 3 nights that they met the girl, they lived together, they had sex, and a child was born. And now the poor guy has to live knowing that he has a child with this woman. You don't want to find yourself there. Her course wanders all over, but she doesn't even know that she's so wicked. She doesn't even know that she's so evil. She doesn't know how stupid she is. She doesn't know how dumb she is. She doesn't even know how unrighteous she is. She doesn't even know that she's ungodly. So now, children, listen to me. Don't turn away from what I'm saying. Do not ignore these words. Distance your way from her. It doesn't say only greet her, because once you greet her, you open that door. Distance yourself from her. Don't even walk in her path. Stay far away from the door of her house. Stay far away from the door of her house. Distance yourself from someone like that, so that you won't give your vigor to others, your years to someone who's cruel. And that's what's going to happen to you. Because most of these women, they'll have another guy, or they'll have a husband, and he will destroy you. Because women like this are not faithful. And do not ever fool yourself into thinking that you're the only guy in her life. Women like this tend to have 5 or 6 or 7 guys. And they're usually loyal to the most cruel of them all. And that cruel one will destroy you. So strangers won't be filled with your strength. And that's what she'll do. Now listen to this carefully. I want to read this to you so that you know that this is not my word. What you worked for will go to a foreign house. Then your flesh and bones will shrink. At the end of your life, you would moan, how I hated discipline. And we see that with people with STD, with AIDS that are sitting and they're perishing and they're about to die and they're skinny and they've lost their health. How they regret that one night stand, that stupid fling that they had that cost them their life. How they hated discipline and everything they worked hard for, because women like this, once they leave you, they don't just leave you. They take all your possessions, they take your money, and if you're married to her, she'll make sure that she convinces the judge to take all your possessions. So you'll lose your health, and you'll lose your money, and you will lose your strength, and you will moan and say, how I hated discipline. My whole being despised reproof. I ignored my teachers said. I didn't listen to my instructors. I took a part in almost every kind of evil, and the whole community knew it. You'll be such a disgrace that even your whole community will know it, because you didn't listen to your teachers, you didn't listen to instructors, you would not accept reproof, and your end will be to such a degree that your whole community will know that this is what happened. This is a parable and a proverb of what happens to a guy who does not listen when we warn him that this woman is bad news. But rather, this is what you should do. Drink water from your own cistern, fresh water from your own well. Let what your springs produce be dispersed outside, streams of water flowing in the streets. But let them be for you alone and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain, the wife of your youth, meaning your sexuality, your strength, your manhood, your being, your health, your youth, your best years, give all of that to the wife of your youth. Wait, in the Song of Songs, it says, Do not open. Forget the proper word they use. Do not kindle. Do not start love before it is ready. Do not awaken love in a premature state. All these things of lovey-dovey and chocolates and sweets and kissing and hugging and sex and moving in together and starting a family and making babies, that's only when you're married. If you're not married, don't do that. Save all of that. Save all that romance, that sex, that strength, everything for the day you get married. Be blessed and find joy in your wife, a lovely deer, a graceful fawn. Let her breast satisfy you at all times. Always be infatuated with her love. So that's the only place that you can get things like this. Not from a strange woman that you met in some club or bar or tavern or strip club or any of these places or any other drug scene or places like that. My son, why be infatuated with an unknown woman? Why embrace the body of a loose woman? Why? Why do that to yourself? Why embrace a woman that's loose? For God is watching a man's ways. God watches everything. Now, you might not feel him, you might not see him, you might not even know he's there, but God sees everything and he watches the ways of a man. He surveys all his path. He sees his direction, he sees his path, he sees where he's going in life. A wicked person's own crime will trap him. He will be held fast by the ropes of his own sin. So if you want to continue going to clubs and strip clubs and chatting to this woman and all these chat rooms and picking up all these short skirts and sleeping within, your ending will be death. It will be AIDS, it will be STDs, it will be unwanted pregnancy, which might even lead to abortion, which is the biggest sin. Your life will be in ruin and you will die a fatal death and you will regret it. That why didn't you listen? He will die from the lack of discipline. As a man, now I'm not talking from a strong point of view, but as a single guy, I know what it's like to not be married, to have to wait until you get married. It is tough, it is hard, it is difficult, it's not pleasant. Sometimes I pray to God every day, bring me a wife already because this is hard. But as a guy, part of being a man is to learn how to control your sexual desires. Learn to have self-control. Learn to control your sexual urges. You do not just live like an animal. We are not dogs that just go around sleeping with anybody we want to sleep with. We need to learn to control our sexual urges. We need to learn to control our sexual desires. And we need not let our passions, our urges, our animalistic traits control us. He will die for lack of discipline. The magnitude of his folly will make him a totter and a fall. I hope my message is clear about staying away from evil women, staying away from loose women, staying away from a wayward woman who doesn't even know who God is. Stay away from a woman that's not modest. Stay away from a woman that's on drugs. Stay away from a woman that doesn't even know that her path is not righteous, but rather wait until you get married. And if you are married, stay faithful, stay loyal to your wife, love your wife, and the only place where you need to get sexual pleasure is from your wife. The only person you need to be intimate with, the only person you need to be buying chocolates and roses and taking to dinner and to forever, all these things, is your wife, and not some strange, loose woman. Why do that to yourself? Stay faithful to your wife. And if you're not married, wait until you're married. Wait until God brings the right person to you. No matter how long it waits, you have to wait. Wait for God's day, for him to bless you. Stay away from a woman that will destroy your life.